it never really, crossed my mind that, at 25, 26, we'd have to be worrying about this kind of stuff. But I actually remember the day that Cara told me that she tested positive for the BRCA2 gene. Um, and, she was so scared to tell me because she thought it was really gonna, skew the way that I looked at her, made me feel differently, but it didn't. I said, so what? I mean, you're still you. Nothing has changed. And if anything happens, we'll get through it. So, I mean, and it's not that it was nice having that knowledge, but I mean, it kind of prepared me as much as you can be prepared for, getting the diagnosis. But once I can still remember standing outside of MFA the day that she got the diagnosis, and it's just shock. When the doctor said, you have breast cancer, it was nothing that I mean. I thought I would have reacted differently, but I was just, I guess, you know, I couldn't really do anything. But it's like, the first thing I said was like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you need to do? Let's do it. And we were able to get from MFA back up to our apartment and then over to Union Station within a matter of like 25 minutes and hop on a train up to her parents that night. Me buying the tickets on my iPhone as we're running to the metro. But I don't. I think it's made us stronger. It's definitely created a bond, something that we'll never forget. I tried to be there as much as I could for her, in whatever way she needed. I unfortunately didn't get to go to any of the chemo treatments because I would take the day after the treatments off from work every other week. But I was there. I was up there every weekend after she had the mastectomy. I would take the train up after work on Friday and stay there until Monday morning. Take the first train back at like 6 a.m. from Trenton down to DC, then work a full day. We did the same thing during her chemo treatments, and the only difference was I'd take the train at 6, get into work 10, 11 hours, and then go pick her up from the train station at night. So, I mean, again, I think it's definitely made our relationship stronger. She always worries. She says, like, do you still find me pretty? Do you still find me? Do you still love me? I mean, I know a lot of times she's just kidding, but I mean, there's nothing has changed about her. I mean, her outward physical appearance may have changed a little bit, but that's not what I love. I love her. I mean, I tried to be as, I mean, of course, on the days she was really down, which were few and far between, thankfully, because she was great during the entire process. I would always like try to crack a joke or, try to make her smile because, I mean, there were days when there were tears, and, I'd try to like just, try to make her happy. But for the most part, I, and we joke about this, but do you know the movie V for Vendetta? I think she looks like Natalie Portman, and so even before this whole thing started, I always joked about her that she needed to shave her head because in that movie Natalie Portman shaves her head, and I was like, you should really do that. But so when it finally happened, I would always crack the joke and be like, oh my god, it's Natalie Portman. I don't think I ever really needed to like psych myself up for being there for her because I mean if I was gonna be there no matter what. There was no getting rid of me, as I would tell her. Just, just be there as much as you can for your partner because what you're feeling, of course, is immense. Like I said, it felt like there was just a stack of bricks on my chest. When I found out, but I mean, you can't dwell on that because what you're feeling doesn't compare. I mean, I have no idea what Cara went through. I mean, I was there the entire time, but knowing what she felt, I can't even imagine. So, you kind of have to, you know, deal with your stuff, put it aside, and just focus on them. Don't dwell on how I'm feeling today. I mean, of course, you have to take care of yourself and make sure you don't get sick or run down, but you really have to just put them first and know that they're the most important person, I guess I would say. At the beginning of the process, I thought that I would come out of this feeling like a completely different person. I felt like I'd be, I went into it, I think I was 26, 25. I don't even remember how old I was at the time. I think I was 26. And I was like, oh, once this is over, I'm going to feel so much more mature. And in some ways, I think I am, but not in the ways that I thought I would be. I thought I'd be much more grown up, but I definitely feel that having Cara's parents there to help, may have skewed that a little bit, because we did rely on them so much during the whole process. But I think we are different. I think I am a bit more grown up, but like I said, in ways that I didn't think that I would be. And I was actually surprised that there were a lot more good days than bad. That's one thing that really got to me. There were of course days where it's like we don't know what's going to happen, but I mean those were few and far between. What's weird was one of the first things that went through my mind, when we got the diagnosis, was I felt like I needed to do something to, raise awareness for other people, or to do something in honor of Cara. And I don't know why that was, but I don't know if Cara told you, but we ended up doing a fundraiser for Young Survival Coalition. It was me and a bunch of my college teammates. We did the Philly Marathon in November of last year, and so it was weird. Like I kind of had this strange motivation to get out there and run in her honor. And I don't. And the thing is, people. I've seen. I mean, I've been a runner for the last decade, so I've always seen people go out there, and I've always respected the cause for what they're doing, but actually having someone this close having cancer, it really changed my mindset. And on the days where I didn't want to get up and go running, I always thought, okay, well, she's going through chemo today, so she's got it a lot worse, so I'm not going to complain about the 5 miles I have to run today.
Yeah.
And during the race, I tell you, I hit the wall something fierce, run 20, and I forced myself not to walk for the rest of the race. I might have been running 12-minute miles at the end of it, but I figured, I have to do this for her and for all the other people who are out there who, are going through this at such a young age.